Alright. He is back. That's right. Florencio is back, everybody. Up here in the top right, representing Storm Gaming. It is none other than deranged, aka Florencio. Playing Zerg here up against Daywalker, a Protoss player who says, good luck, have fun, partner. And they're from clan Salty. Even though it says Salt D, I'm going to call it Salty. And this is not a cancelled extractor for Florencio. It's been a hot minute, guys. Florencio was busy moving house and a whole bunch of different stuff. And I, it's fun to take a little break from the adventures of Florencio. But he's been, going back to old strategies, discovering new strategies. He started sending me a bunch of new awesome replays as I'd kind of exhausted the old ones that he'd sent me. And it looks great. There's some really fun ones coming up. So I've glanced just at a couple games and was like, oh, okay, I gotta get recording. I don't even want to, I don't want to watch these and get, I want to be surprised. I want to be shocked and adoring of the beautifulness. Already, guys, I think I know what build this is. This is a classic Florencio. I think we might have done one flow files of this like years ago. And I actually have copied it a bunch myself. I even was recently trying to make this build work. It's the Burrow Rush. Yes. This is such a sick build. I can never make this work. The best game I had with this, I kind of made it close-ish against Nina maybe 3 years ago. But he gets the hatchery down. Okay, this is so sick. Okay, so this whole game plan is one of the most beautiful things ever. So basically the whole idea here is he's going to hatchery block, and that is going to buy time for Burrow to finish. And what happens is the opponent's going to kill the hatchery, hopefully not too quickly. If they pull a lot of probes, it might ruin this build. But in this case, it'll take the Zealot a little while to kill the hatchery, and then what you do is you cancel the hatchery, and when you cancel it, blood explodes everywhere, and it'll actually disguise the bloody worker as it burrows. This is actually, if he can pull this off, this is so sick. And behind it, he's just going to expand and try to recover. But remember, his hatchery and spawning pool are so slow. It's such a bad build order. Going for gas is your very first thing. You're economically in such a bad spot. This needs to massively delay and confuse the Protoss player. The hatchery's getting close to finished. Burrow is almost done. Is he going to cancel the moment Burrow's done? Okay, guys, Burrow's done. Watch for it. He's got to quickly burrow the moment he cancels. Florencio, he's going to wait a little bit longer here. He wants to wait because he doesn't want his opponent to realize, right? The longer he keeps this going, the better. And there we go, a quick burrow. So look at that. You don't even see the animation. There's a fountain of blood. You assume the drone's being killed maybe by the Zealot and the probes that were on A move. And then Daywalker, okay, we're gonna watch this from Daywalker's point of view. Daywalker's like, cool, the creep's cleared, now let's put that nexus down. Goes to put the nexus down, and it doesn't realize that there's a burrow drone there. The beauty of this build order. A stalker starts up. Okay, back up in the main is gonna take a second gas. Oh my God, has Daywalker realized the nexus didn't start? I don't know if Daywalker's realized. Daywalker might not realize, because normally you just click the nexus down and you're like, wait. Oh yeah, he realized, he just selected the probe. So Daywalker's just selected the probe. He's like, hey, why isn't that nexus up? What the hell? So Daywalker's gonna go build it in a sec again, right? And we'll probably realize then, okay. Still not trying to build the nexus? Oh no, Daywalker! Daywalker is just building gateways, just taking a second gas, building probes, is like, cool, my natural should be finishing soon. And then he's like, wait, where's my natural? Hello? Daywalker, wake up! Your expansion's never building! It didn't build. Okay, builds a Robo. Robo will get detection out. But I still don't know if that's on purpose or that's just part of the build. I think Daywalker might be confused. Daywalker is going to transfer probes down here, and maybe at this point... Okay, transfers probes! Surely you pay attention and realize there's no nexus now. This is one of those things where you just assume it's there. And then you're like, wait, what? What's going on? Why is it? What's going on? Oh my God. Finally, I think Daywalker's realized, oh God, I can't build this nexus. Oh, this is an absolute disaster. Has to wait all the way for an observer before being able to get this nexus down. This is so bad. Long distance mining from that expansion. Oh my God. Daywalker transferring even more probes to the point where the main's undersaturated. He's literally having a bit of a mental breakdown right now. He's going to start an observer there. Oh my God, and this one burrowed drone, Florencio, with the middle finger up above his head, just like... He's like, oh my God, Ling speeds on the way. 35 drones and a third hatchery, guys. Florencio has done a great job of recovering economically. Now the drone finally goes down, and Daywalker at almost 5 minutes, 4 minutes 45, is going to be able to start the natural expansion against a Florencio that's already massing Lings off 35 workers. This is awesome. start for Florencio. Twilight Council's on the way. The Robo is now building an observer. Now, there is an argument behind it. Imagine if Daywalker counter-pressured with the Stalkers, the Adepts, and the Zealots. There wouldn't have been any defense, right? And I told you it's a really weak, fragile opening because you give up so much to get the gas and burrow that early that it really relies on your opponent getting confused about what's happening and sitting there for a while. It's so much fun, though. Look at this. Burrowed Zerglings coming in. Ooh, okay. Really wants to block these expansions, but it's a lot of Protoss units out there. Needs a few more Zerglings. Yeah, this is not a good fight for Florencio. I don't think there's just a few too many gateway units there. You really want to have at least like 4 Zerglings for each gateway unit to crush that. Lair is on the way now for Flo. Hasn't put on gases yet, though. His droning's kind of stalled out. He's building random spine crawlers in each base because, you know, Florencio doing Florencio things. The Observer goes out. I think it saw this burrowed Ling. That's a little pervert Zergling there. The very, very dirty one. Always wants to look up the robes of those Protoss as they go past. Bit of a dirty one. Burrowed Zergling does go down there. So it looks like, what, Charge is on the way? There's a lot of Stalkers. It's a good set of gateway units here. Daywalker's actually not that far behind economically. Has kept the probing up. It's got Charge. They've got a Warp Prism as well. If they can get a bunch of gateways here, then they could actually do a brutal timing and Flow. I mean, He's doing Flow stuff. Flow is being a little bit fancy. Hydroden and Spire are on the way. Yes, he's putting on gases now, but he hasn't really built a big economic lead, and he also hasn't built any solid kind of fighting tech like Roaches yet. Hydras will be really effective for sure. They could definitely be very useful as a unit, but if he tries to go straight up to Mutas, he may end up in trouble. Luckily for him, there's no gateway explosion just yet. As I say it, Daywalker realizing, hey, I need that charge lot production to amp up. Is going up to 6 gateways, 7 gateways even. Oh man, 8-gate charge is really deadly against a guy who's only got a handful of Zerglings to defend, and all he's doing is building more Lings. I think he's banking up gas for the Spire. He's not building any Hydra upgrades, so Florencio, he's going to try and get straight to Mutas. He's actually got a decent economy, like I said, 50 drones. But here we go, big push coming across this map. Stalkers are going to split up. Daywalker, watch out, dude! Oh no, the pathing on this map. Okay, does reroute that army all to the right, keeps it together, very well done. There's burrowed Zerglings. I mean, they're just not finding the mark because the Protoss isn't even trying to take that expansion. But up to 8 gateways now is the Protoss player. 1 or 2 big rounds of Zealot Warpins is going to cause a lot of troubles. The Mutas are on the way, but Florencio, I don't think he realizes this push is coming. The Lings are going to try and move across the map. There's 2 Stalkers there, but I don't know if they're solid in the wall. The Lings may be able to surround and breach that. Meanwhile, looks like these Zealots could be warping in at just about any moment here. The gateways are all transforming as we speak. Mutas are about 9 more drones building. Florencio finally stumbles into this army. An accident for him. He's got to pull back from this. He's going to have to fight with things like the Spine Crawlers. The Mutas trying to come in together as well. Good surround on these front Zealots. There's not that many Zealots. Daywalker has made a bit of a mistake in that regard, but Florencio goes past, doesn't finish killing those Zealots, so they're actually doing a crazy amount of damage. The Stalkers are doing all right versus the Mutas as well. Florencio's overextended. Florencio is actually losing most of his Mutas to these Stalkers. A few more Zealots and Stalkers warping in might be able to seal the deal here. Florencio getting caught being too greedy and not scouting properly, not having the map control. His upskirt Zergling was not enough to see the army move out there. Or up robe, I guess I should say. I don't know if any Protosses wear skirts. Anyways, either way, the creepy little perv that was meant to see the move out didn't spot the move out is what I'm trying to say in my own demented way. Mutas and Lings are coming in. If they can overwhelm the Stalkers and get rid of the Prism, that could be huge. Daywalker's trying to gather up. This is a 2-base all-in. Florencio kept most of his drones alive from this base. If he can overwhelm, this will be huge. He's going to get the Prism, but only after the Stalker warping comes in. So there's still a lot of Protoss units there. The Mutas are taking a lot of damage. The Zealots are killing the hatchery right now. So the 3rd hatchery goes down, but those Broodlings are going to help kill the Stalkers. There's only 3 Mutalisks left right now. If these Zealots can get into the natural, kill a bunch more drones, then this could be good. He's going to get another Mutalisk kill. Okay, so only 2 Mutas left in the sky, but the Zealots aren't going after the drones. If those Zealots were in there killing 10, 15 more drones, it might be big. But the Zerglings and the Mutas coming out. Florencio barely hanging on. The next Zealot Stalker warp in, not going to be quick enough to seal the deal. And Florencio barely hanging on. He can now transfer these workers back as well. Good surround and good defense here for Flo. Let's check out Flo's control groups. Absolutely non-existent other than the hatcheries, but that is the way it goes. He's going to transfer workers from his natural out to that 3rd base. Maybe a bit of a big transfer there. Transfers a solid 30 workers in one go. But it is what it is. +1 attacks on the way. Getting a shield battery in each base is Daywalker. Daywalker's probably just going to try round 2 of the 2-base all-in. Actually, no. Looks like he's going to move out and try and take the 3rd. Oh, no! The observers are on the other side of the map. They're not here. Watch this from Daywalker's view, guys. Let's go to Daywalker's camera. So Daywalker tries to build the 3rd. It's blocked by the Zergling that he doesn't know about. He's gonna, okay, yeah, brings the observer home and he's like, ah, screw it, I'll just take the other base. Little does he know there's a Burrow Zergling there as well. Both bases are getting blocked. Ah, man, Daywalker's like, I can still recover. I'll play a macro game. And of course, those Burrow Zerglings from earlier in the game, here we go. Once again, the drone burrowed underground is like, hey, oh, you want to expand here? Nah. I just feel such spite in Florencio's actions sometimes, you know, like he really, I could feel the joy he gets from just spiting his opponents. Finally, that base gets down, but check this out. Muta's going to fly past into the main, and I don't think there's any blink. Yeah, there's no blink, so a quick recall, which is actually a sick move by Daywalker, but the Mutas can always just move to another base. Yeah, great moves by Flo. Gets a few probes, then he just moves down to the front and is like, hey, look, I can just kill these guys on their own. So the Mutas and the Lings get in on top. The Stalkers are going to fall. More and more Lings coming across the map. The third gets cancelled. Daywalker's going to try and fall back. Maybe Battery Overcharge can save the day, but Florencio quickly targets it down with his Mutalisks. Great prioritization. The Stalkers don't have much damage, and they are going to get overrun. Florencio with some dirty Burrow Rush tactics to frustrate his opponent. Very nice way to return. All right. Well, I'm not going to leave it there. I know my viewers would kick my ass if we just had a 10-minute game as Florencio's return. So we're going to throw another game in here that looked rather fantastic. Storm Gaming's Dankcraft, aka Florencio, in the bottom right of Moondance. And we've got Meva Susme, the Zerg player, in the top left side of this map. I have no idea how you meant to say that name. Meva the Beaver, who's looking very sus in the top left of the map. So Florencio is playing Terran versus Zerg. Now, this is a matchup where I would say Florencio has a bit more of a slow burn to his strategies. His Zerg strategies tend to hit like a brick shithouse, right? He's just like, bam, get in there, go. But his Terran versus Zerg strategies are much more about, it's like, it's a long, patient laying of traps usually, isn't it? Like you can see he's like, it's very Roman, you know? It's very like, hey, let's dig a ditch, fill it with spikes, let's build fortifications, let's build a fort, set up the palisade, all that sort of stuff. Let's build, you know, bloody Hadrian's Wall and all that sort of jazz, you know? Let's go for the old Great Wall of China and keep the Mongols out, that sort of thing. So the thing is, though, what makes it so entertaining usually is the traps that he sets up within that. Oh, did he just cancel his barracks? What? Oh no, a misclick from Florencio. He cancels his barracks. Oh, this is a massive handicap on his opening. Now he drops a second gas, but his opening is an absolute disaster now. That's huge. And for some reason, he's got 2 SCVs down here. I guess he's scouting with one of them now, but oh no. Very rough opening for him up against, well, it appears to be a pool first build order for the Zerg. Getting a Queen, a Ling, a Hatchery up. Pretty decent build for the Zerg with a 4 Zergling pressure that if they go straight across the map, his barracks isn't even finished. He could absolutely lose this SCV building the command center. The one thing though, this Drilly Boy could shout insults and distract the Zerglings. That would be his job, right? Just give him the finger. Hey, follow me, idiots. Don't go across the map. And he's doing it. Oh, Gary, the vitriolic SCV there, bringing out the fire, the shit talk. And he's like, oi, your mum's a fat queen. And they're like, yeah, my mum is a fat queen. And the SCV is like, you're proud of that? Oh, the Zerglings angry about this are not going to go across the map and capitalize. And this will buy enough time for the Reaper to pop out and a bunker to get up. So well done, Dankcraft. Turns out the fat queen's actually the one to kill the SCV in the end. So Gary, the vitriolic SCV, does go down. But you know what? I think that's all right. Florencio gets away with what was a very messy opening. It's got the wall off on the high ground as well. The Reaper's out. Now the Zerg player going for a ridiculously fast evolution chamber. That's how you can tell this is peak StarCraft play, guys, when people build a 2-minute Evo chamber. And also is rallying drones from the natural to the main. Interesting. Okay, hasn't really used a rally point on that hatchery just yet, so that's a thing. Flo, what are you doing? eBay already. Okay, he's going for an orbital. So he gets an orbital, but he's going to go planetary on the natural. Pretty standard flow. He's already got 450 gas banks. So very optimal play for Florencio, guys. For those who don't know, you need 150 gas to build a planetary fortress. The Reaper's going to come and he says, who has 2 P45 Gauss pistols and doesn't give a shit? And, well, the Zerglings are like, who? And they just literally rip him down. So far, Florencio's units shit talk in this game not doing too well for them. It's been a lot of like, oh yeah, you want to mess with me? And then the other person just knocks them out in the first punch. Miva comes in and even scouts the factory timing here. I mean, this is very good for the Zerg player so far. But Miva hasn't taken a third, right? This is the sort of game where if the Zerg just takes a third, takes a fourth, that'll be good. Speaking of which, third hatchery goes down. So as I ask for it, Miva goes for it. Miva's even checking for any proxies in the back door. Looks like we got that winter voice pack on there. Does this Zerg player? Florencio on the other hand. Let's go to Florencio's side. See if he has any. See if we can figure out what voice pack he's using there. 114 APM for Flo, 75 for his opponent on average. Flo's going to build that third on location in the back, so that's a very handy base on this map. And looks like the factory's going to build a tech lab as well. Now, are we going to go straight up to Starport, or is he going to hang out on factories for a little while? Baneling Nest and Melee we can see on the production tab for his opponent. Florencio's going to try and take more gases because he's only got 600 in the bank, and he's always got to prepare.
We finished that add-on. Nice.
Ah, we've got the In Control voice back on. Very nice, very nice. He does scan the main base, does Florencio. Spore Crawler and a Baneling Nest up in the main base going down. We've got Queens coming forward as well. Ling Scout. Pretty good map vision from Miva, right? Has actually checked all the corners to make sure there's no corner bases. Of course, on this map, Flo can just build it in the back anyway for free. He's got a planetary up front, and he's building a second factory now, but equal workers on both sides. So even though there's good scouting for the Zerg, they're not really building an economic advantage, and they're going Ling Bane, but now they're also building Roaches. So maybe a little bit confused in the direction. I think they'll be happy though if they do at any point realize that they are up against Mass Factory. The planetary kills like 6 Zerglings. You do not want to go in there, but at this point, you know there's a planetary at the natural. You know the Terran's turtling, so definitely getting up like, you know, 4 bases, 5 bases, 80, 90 drones. All the upgrades and tech in the game seems to be the way to go, and it seems like Miva's made that plan, right? Extra gases, drones, all of this sort of stuff is going up now, and he's going to take a 4th hatchery in the back. So Miva knows the business. Meanwhile, Blue Flame is on the way. We've got 4 factories. Reactors are for pussies. That's a famous Florencio quote for those who don't know. You know, he doesn't like to build things unless there's a very specific reason. I'm sure someone out there would argue if he built a reactor with the barracks, he could already be producing more Hellions than he's producing out of this right now. What's the bet? He doesn't build add-ons on any of these. He's just like, no, I'm only building Hellions. Let's see. See it? No? Okay, he doesn't have the money. He's building turrets right now. He's a bit worried about mutas, I guess. Another scan does go down, this time on the natural. But he just sees drones coming out. The Roach Warren doesn't see any signs of Mutt-Mutts, so he's just going to keep building Hellions for now. Third base is going up in the back. And actually, Florencio's out-macroing his opponent. He's got 51 SCVs at 6 minutes 15. This might be some of the better SCV production I've ever seen out of Florencio. And that's the thing he really had to channel as a Terran. Because remember, you're playing a longer game. You're setting up these traps, these layers of defense, bunkers and planetaries and all that sort of stuff. So I do feel he took his macro to a whole new level when he played Terran, and he even brought that back to his Protoss in some of the games. I mean, some of you might remember way back when he showed his first, like, was it 70 or 80 probe Protoss match, and I was like, what the hell? This is crazy, but I think it carried over from him playing Terran and being like, ooh, you get to throw a lot of waves of silly stuff at your opponent if you have this many workers. His opponent just not keeping up economically. They are finally catching up on the workers, but just getting even with a Terran who can also drop mules is always rough. On the plus side, it's Florencio, so he doesn't ever drop mules. 3 starports go down all at once. 4 starports go down? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What? Hellions are going to clean up that Zergling over there. Another Zergling coming in. Here we go. The Blue Flame Wave is going to try and go across this map. Can they find anything? Queen there in the middle. We got some Banelings morphing, some Roaches and Lings. They should be able to defend just fine. Having Roaches out, Roaches easily beat Hellions. They do get a Queen, a couple Creep Tumors. I mean, that's nice, but it's not going to do game-ending damage. The Lings, oh, you don't want to chase down there. Miva wisely pulls back behind this Tech Lab transition. So it looks like realizing he's going to need to transition. 4 starports with Tech Labs, 3 factories with Tech Labs. I like that they show up as different buildings in the production tab based on what structure they're on. And a fusion core goes down as well. He's been banking gas all game, has Florencio, and we're going to find out why. It's going to be massive BC switch into by the looks of it. And here we go. Roaches, Lings, and Banes there. Hellion's going to try and pull back. Single Zergling does get a Hellion kill, which is kind of sick. Miva's still not really building a big economy, just building like 6 drones at a time rather than getting that economy up in a bigger way, but does have some upgrades. Doesn't really have any fancy tech, no like ultras or Brood Lords or Spellcasters. But man, these Hellions getting great value versus the Zerglings. Roasting and toasting. 44 kills for just 5 Terran units that have gone down this game. And an extra command center going up at the front. More BCs are building now. The first 2 BCs starting up. Very low on minerals, though, is Florencio. That's why he's struggling. He's got Yamato started as well. Hellions moving in that left side. They're going to start taking out a few of these creep tumors. Now, oh, watch out. Banelings and Roaches on creep run. Okay, Flo's got to just get out of there. He actually splits a Hellion back. He's like, hey, let's just let these Banelings blow up, as that's not the most efficient for the Zerg player. Trying to do some very fancy micro to gun those Banelings down, but doesn't really get them in the end. I think that might be even above your pay grade. As fun as that move is, Flo, it's really hard to focus down Banelings on creep like that. The Hellions will get caught by the Roaches, so they're going to go down. Zerg player Miva is building 13 more Overlords, making sure they never get supply blocked again for the rest of this game. Flo's got tanks. 2 behind the planetary, 2 on the high ground. If the Zerg ever attacks into this angle, then we know they've fallen into the trap of what pretty much every Zerg player ever does against Florencio, and that is headbutting to their death. There's also no Roach speed, so these Roaches are not very competent units. Miva, the moment Miva moves in and sees these tanks shooting, should instantly pull back. Let's see if Miva figures that one out. Is making mass ravages. Oh no. Oh no, spending the entire gas bank you've spent all game building on that. And then the BC's teleported, and now you've got no gas to build Hydras. Ah, 3 BCs teleporting. That also might trigger Miva to feel like Miva needs to do damage on the front. Is Miva going to try and counterpush? The drones are running away. The queens are coming out, but I mean, 5 queens, no match for 3 BCs. You need like 12 queens minimum to take down 3 BCs. And that would be with good transfuse micro. You can see how quickly the BCs make work of him. Here we go. He's going to try to push in. The tanks on the high ground blast those Banelings before they connect with anything. Biles are coming down, but they're just landing on the planetary, not on the tanks behind it. Oh my god, this is a disaster of an engagement for Miva. Miva the Beaver getting absolutely annihilated, and oh man, Florencio, I told you guys, he digs his ditch. He puts his spikes in it, and he waits and baits the opponent into stepping into it, and they always, like the barbarians they are, you know, until you're playing very, very high level players on the ladder, you can very consistently bait people. You'd be like, your mum's fat and you have no honor. And they're like, what? You have no honor, and they just instantly charge for revenge, you know. The civilized society of Florencio's Terran. Some would say not really that civilized. Some would say just vicious, conniving, and evil imperial, you know, dominators of the universe. But the Zerg player here is going to try to get on top of it. Now, he's got +1 range, no carapace upgrades, 9 Hydras coming together. Remember that Florencio's macro and follow-ups are usually absolute arse in terms of efficiency, because he is looking to torture his opponent. So I wouldn't count out Miva yet. Miva is massively behind, but with 3,500 minerals in the bank, all Miva needs to do is, you know, hold the drone key down, put workers on gas, take a few more hatcheries. If Miva's capable of just spending money quickly, Miva can absolutely get back in this game, as long as he can get rid of these BCs right now and just give himself maybe 2 or 3 minutes to recover. Which Florencio, he's going into Ghost right now. He's thinking about trolling his opponent. He's taking a very slow fall. That he even teleports these BCs home when he probably could have just kept going with the BCs and finished the game right there and then. Florencio's going to go back, get his SCVs, his drilly boys to all touch up the junk of those battle cruisers. They're like, let me just give you a bit of a repair up there, sir. No one really understands the physics of how that drill's touching that battle cruiser up, but you know, it's working. I like to think it's just because certain things, parts of it do dangle down low enough in order for the SCVs to reach. But, you know, that's my own theory. It's not backed up by the lore crew. Now, if Miva, like I said, can rebuild drones and put back on gas, will be good. But Miva's building slow roaches still with no roach speed. Oh, no. Miva has so much minerals that Miva could just build like 6 hatcheries, build like 40 drones. There is a chance for recovery if Miva can do that, because Corruptors do hard counter BCs. The problem is Florencio setting up the next layer of trap, and that's going to be burrow mass widow mines and bait the units into the widow mines with your battle cruisers. So this is where the battle cruisers, they've all been hanging out in twerking school. For those who don't know, yes, there are schools where you can learn how to twerk now. Florencio has forced enrollment for pretty much every one of his units, because you never know when one of his units' job is going to be to go twerk in front of the enemy, go, hey, naughty Zerg player. And then when they're like, ooh, and they run towards it, then they run back through the widow mines and big booms happen. There's fireworks and the Zerg player gets very sad. Now, I said Miva just needs more corruptors and gas mining. Back on the gas mining. Miva's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 6. I guess is up to 7 gases, which is really good. The economy is not that great, so this mineral bank will get exhausted, but should be able to build enough corruptors. Unfortunately, for getting roach speed all game is an absolute disaster. But yeah, I mean, we've got +1 melee, +1 range, 5 queens building. The spores are really worthless, and the spines aren't the most important either, because that, I mean, banelings would be key. Whenever there's mass widow mines, a handful of banelings, because it only takes 3 to kill widow mines. You roll like 6, 7, 8 banelings in here. As long as you get 3 into the middle, you'll kill every single widow mine. So that would be fantastic. Now he's burrowing on the edge there. The Raven and the BC's trying to set up this bait. Lings are building right now, which is a very curious choice for Miva. Miva the Beaver trying to make Ravages as well. Oh my god, spending the gas on Ravages rather than more Corruptors. An absolutely nonsensical decision. The BC's are going to veer around. Florencio, though, is still giving so much time to his opponent. Does he have a follow-up? Well, he's making Ghost now. He's going to come in with the Ghost Torture move. Widowmine's moving down the left side as well. He's trying to set it up, but he doesn't actually have Cloak on these Ghost guys. No Cloak. He's going to just have to start doing his nukes wherever he can. Meanwhile, the Zerg player, more Corruptors, +1 air weapons. Keep in mind, Florencio doesn't upgrade his battle cruisers. Over time, he will get further and further behind in those upgrades. He also hasn't really transferred his workers out. He's got the gases on this base taken, but he hasn't transferred workers onto them. Meanwhile, Miva is building a bunch more drones, but still hasn't secured any more bases with this giant mineral bank, and that means these bases will start to run dry in a little bit. The Widow Mine trap is moving forward. My god, that's a big field of Widow Mines. Florencio, he's going to move some to the right. Now that's interesting. He's trying to set up like a rotation trap, I think. I think he's going to teleport to the right and try to bait the Corruptors into it, is the plan. So here we go. He's coming on in. He's going to Yamato the hatchery. I think that might be more than you need. Oh my god. Okay, teleport, teleport, teleport. There's not many guys here. He's going to try and land a nuke from there, but that seems to be coming in a little bit too late. Widow Mines are starting to get some good hits. The Widow Mine's getting some very nice ones. The Ghost does die before the nuke can actually come down. Widow Mines are going to be firing, but only on a handful of these units. The BCs are going to teleport away. Oof, imagine if all these Widow Mines were also there. Might have got some very big hits, but overall, the Lings did a good job of kind of defusing the worst of those hits. Oh no, don't just fly right through it. Oh man. A lot of the Corruptors do go down. Not the best move there for Miva. On the other hand, Florencio hasn't really rebuilt what he's up to. He's just building Ravens right now. Miva has so much room to recover if they can just drone and you know, build hatcheries and that sort of stuff, but I don't think Miva's monitoring the income. This is such a weird situation for most players. Miva also, do we see that red dot? As Miva, this is all you see. Miva only gets to see that one little red dot. Miva's moving a Spore Crawler onto it, which I think makes him think the Ghost is right there. That's some dead static D. Oof. A Queen and Overlord. 3 spines and a spore. Another nuke goes down immediately, but there's Overseers right here. Miva should easily be able to just move to the left just slightly. It's in vision. It's in vision. It's right there, Miva. Oh my god. Oh, barely stops that nuke from coming down. Oh my lord. Corvid Reactor is on the way. The Ravens are pumping out right now. Widow Mines as well. 5th base up to the top right. +2 range. More Corruptors are building. I mean, Miva still is going to be able to build an army, and the Corruptors will counter the BCs. The Ravens are not that great a unit. There's only a couple tanks and Widow Mines on the ground. There's, as always, a way to get back in this game, because Florencio is not a man who likes to finish. He's a man who likes to dance on the graves of his opponent. He has zero respect for the rules of warfare. For him, it's all about just taking his opponent to Dicktown. The BCs are going to dive for the counterattack. Miva, I think, should just go back and defend it. Try to defend that economy. But Miva wants to kill this planetary first and foremost. Hatchery does go down, but I think Florencio just threw all of these BCs away. As long as Miva doesn't take critical economic damage, should be good. The Roach Ravager... Oh, Miva's trying to do some fancy multitasking here. That might be a little bit too much. There's no armory, funnily enough, though, for Florencio, so those Widow Mines are not invisible. The lair! Oh no, if he loses the lair, that would be huge. Where are the Corruptors? The Corruptors are just a bit too late. No, and now they're running away. What are you doing? Oh, Miva with the F2. With the F2, accidentally sends the Corruptors forward. Oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing, Miva? The battle cruisers are killing everything. Oh, it's an absolute shit show. The Corruptors arrive at the front. Miva's like, oh, what? How did that happen? Oh no. Yeah, there's no army control groups. I should have known it. Oh no, no army control groups. Trying to multitask and do things in 2 different places without groups. And that brings it up to 23 dead workers, a dead lair. This hatchery might go down as well. And even some of the BCs might be able to teleport out. You're kidding me. He gave him so much time. He's going to be able to save some of the BCs. The BC comes off teleport and oh my god, 4 of the BCs get out. What an absolute disaster. Florencio dropping some more nukes in the middle, hoping to catch the units moving around, maybe clear some creep as well. And Florencio just torturing his opponent. At this point, the spark plugs are firmly attached to Miva's nipples. And Miva is finding out that, you know, this might not be Liam Neeson torturing you. but it's having a similar effect, you know? It's kind of like the bizarre clown version of Liam Neeson. You know, he's like, I have a very specific set of skills, and you're going to tell me where you took my daughter. Miva's like, who the fuck is your daughter? What are you even talking about? Florencio's like, oh yeah, I don't have a daughter. Where'd you take Dexter? Where'd you take my dog? Miva's like, I didn't take your dog either. What are you talking about? Florencio's like, well, I don't know. Just kind of wanted to have an excuse to attach these spark plugs to your nipples anyway. Goes for it, dives on, puts them on, cranks up the car battery, and yeah, starts on zapping away. The Corruptors come in with a bit of an angry counterattack. He knocks over the chair, tears off some of the duct tape, and starts actually killing the BCs. There's still about 50 Widow Mines there. The Corruptors do unzip their fly, though. My God, he's not going to go down without at least pissing his pants and pissing on some of Florencio's property at the same time. But the nukes are coming down in a big way, and they are just starting to pick away at just about everything. So the Corruptor's going down, that roach goes down, and even with this counterattack, Florencio's still got minerals mining in a couple of these bases. He's got a lot of Ravens as well, and there's not anything on the ground. There's only, a handful of Zerglings. 2 Zerglings here, 14 more building. That Ghost will get taken out, but it clears the Zerglings. The Queen kills her, and the Widow Mine's going to take down this Overseer. It does have an eyeball popped out the top of its head. The Widow Mines say, this is a pervert-free zone, mate. They do take it down. Speaking of which, I never noticed this bird before. Oh, there's little birdies. There's little purple birds! There's purple birds flying around this map. I never even knew that. 4 Liberators on the way, more Hellions, an armory finally building to make these Widow Mines invisible. Florencio's going to start long-distance fighting this base, and an infestation pit for Miva. Miva still not rebuilding the drone count or anything like that. There's been many opportunities in this game to kind of bounce back economically, but Florencio drags you into such deep waters where you can feel his opponent's brains kind of slowly turning and twisting, going, what am I supposed to do? The answer, as always, is to rebuild after each wave of his bullshit harassment, right? And that's the one thing where they always end up gassing out economically before him. Well, not always, but in the games that he wins and they lose anyway. The players that do keep rebuilding often are able to take bad fight after bad fight and still get back in it. The Ghost on the right side. We're going to see another nuke. How many nukes we got? Only 1 right now, but getting nuked down. The hatchery won't die from that, but the Spore in the Spine will, and then he'll be able to kill him on the next wave. The army is coming, but there's almost nothing that shoots up, and oh, no, don't stand in that army. Don't stand in that nuke. Don't stand in that nuke. Watch out, buddy. Ooh, Ghost does die, but the nuke does land, damaging the hatchery and all the rest there as well. Hellions going to drive down the right side. It's a 30 drone Zerg economy. I mean, this is about as fragile as they come. These Hellions dive on in here. They can kill so much stuff. 19 Corruptors, 10 Roaches, 14 Zerglings. Pretty much all the Zergs working with. They're rebuilding their hive ever so slowly. Hellions are not really being microed here by Florencio, but that's because it's a distraction. He's got a nuke coming in from the right side. The Hellions gonna back off. They say, look over here, look over here, look over here, dickhead. Miva still with no roach speed, despite having a core of roaches as the army, and oh, torture. This next nuke will almost kill the hatchery. I think it's 500 damage it does, so it should get that down to like 5 hit points on that closest ring of damage right in the center anyway. Hellions still trying to distract. Ling's trying to come in. Drones try to pull away, but they do go down. Hatchery down to, like we said, yeah, just 12 hit points. The Hellions are going to clean up these Zerglings, which means there's very few units on the ground. Can the Ghost click on the hatchery? All you need to do is click on it. Just click on the hatchery. Doesn't click on the hatchery. The hatchery does survive. Goes back to mining, at least for now. More Ravens are on the way. Florencio's got Mass Liberator Raven. And yeah, so apparently at this point he's like, okay, we've taken off the toenails. We're done with the spark plugs on the nipples. What can I do next? And now he's just doing weird forms of torture. He's doing play the speakers really loud so that they can't sleep. It's just the sound of like animals getting slaughtered or something, like played over the speakers. Like, you know, like really creative stuff. Waterboarding. He's got that one going. And he's just kind of like, doop-de-doop, doop-de-doop. You're not going to leave this game the same. Because remember, that's always Florencio's goal, guys. It's to make people quit playing StarCraft. So far, he is personally responsible for, I believe it's 2,372 players quitting playing the game and never again after the humiliation they faced against his ridiculous, cheesy bullshit. The Hellions driving about. They do get a few more of those drones. Another nuke comes in. Oh, there's a lot of things going on. Miva, the Corruptors! Ah! Miva's given up. Oh, no. And Miva taps out there. Well, if there's ever a way to go, it's sit down in the middle of the nuclear blast, sit cross-legged and accept your fate. Good on you for taking it like an absolute champ, Miva. Now, of course, he's not done. He's going to keep nuking for... How much longer does this replay? Another 2 minutes. Another 2 minutes of nuking because his name's Florencio and he likes to torture even when it's a corpse. He still keeps kicking it, poking it with his sharp stick, and getting joys out of it, like spasming and stuff. He's a sicko! Florencio's a sicko! I'm glad to have him back, though. Especially that Burrow build in the first one. I want to see some more of that, and I guarantee you guys, some of the other games I've glimpsed at look like they're going in weird, similar directions to that first one, denying people's bases and getting some weird going. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to check out the other episodes on screen if you like the Florencio Files and go back to the origins of the story. Big thanks to Colonel SC, Jacob G, and Modern Totem, our biggest supporters on the Patreon, as well as everyone else here on the Wall of Bacon. If you guys want to go above and beyond to support, check out the Patreon. It's in the link down below in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Goodbye and good night.